Test 1, 2. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Croatian Sports Centre here for this NPL Round 5 matchup between Gold Coast Knights FC and Brisbane City FC. We're just about 5 minutes away from kickoff here at the Croatian Sports Centre, so grab yourself a drink or some food. The canteen and bar are both open.
Well, good afternoon. Welcome to the National Premier League's Queensland live coverage of round 5 of this season as Gold Coast Knights take on Brisbane City in the match of the round. I'm Simon Smale. Absolute pleasure to be here with you this evening. And all the action will be coming to you from the Croatian club down on the Gold Coast at Carrara. Gold Coast Knights, well, they've had a fantastic start to the season under new coach Scott McDonald. 2 games, 2 wins, and it's an impressive start. Josh Langdon in goal, the 22-year-old. He's kept 1 clean sheet. Of course, after that phenomenal match at Richlands to kick off the season, a 6-3 victory in which Knights scored 5 unanswered goals. He'll be keeping goal today, as you'd expect. In front of him will be number 3, Nikola Mirkovic, number 4, Tyson Martin, number 6, Janiel Da Silva, who's man of the match last week, and he was very high up on my list of top performers in the season opener as well. Tremendous signing, the 28-year-old Brazilian is proving to be at this early stage. Number 7, Pasquale De Vita, has also made a running start to his Gold Coast Knights career. Number 9, Mirza Muratovic. Number 10, Max Brown. Number 14, Christian Brimora, has a goal in both games so far this season. The captain is number 16, Mitch Nichols, number 17, Will Peck, number 18, Luke Beckwith for substitutes. Dan Dragetovic, 15, Kai Tipaldo, who's come off the bench and scored 3 goals already this season. Number 19, Oliver Stortner, number 21, Bhavan Atwal, and number 24, Kai Spotka. Brisbane City under Matt Smith, well, it hasn't been quite as successful a return to the National Premier League Queensland as they might have expected. 2 games, 2 defeats. They've been unlucky, arguably, in both those matches. Hit post a couple of times against Olympic in that 1-0 defeat first up, and then against Gold Coast United did miss a penalty when leading at half-time by a 1-0. Juro Dragetovic will start in goal for Brisbane City. In front of him, Matt Smith, player coach, of course, returning to Gold Coast Knights for the first time since playing in the 2019 team. Number 6 is Scott Hutlerday. Number 7, Fraser Hills. Number 8, Roman Hoffman, also a player returning to Gold Coast Knights, a team he left last year. Number 10, Sam Sibatuara. Number 15, Kai Bolton. Number 18, Koji Kato. And number 19, Yuta Hirayama. The substitutes for Brisbane City, Brandon Reeves in number 9, number 16, Luke Plummer, number 17, Chris Morseray, number 20, Riley Stent, number 23, Arthur Antonis. You will have noticed that no captain, Daniel Bowles, is out with a quad injury for Brisbane City. Could be a big absence for them, but Matt Smith does make his return to the side. And that will be just as vital after that really horrific head injury. An awful gash that opened up on the side of his head. I'm chatting to a couple of people around the club over the course of the last day or so, and they said that you can barely even see it now. So credit to all those who did their repair work on Matt Smith immediately after that game. He did have that week off, a 39-year-old, but he's fit and raring to go. The third team, the all-important third team on the field, Carmelpreet Sarai, who will be assisted by Ricardo Vico de la Rosa and Oliver Lusa. Fraser Hills, in the absence of Dan Bowles, will skipper the side today. It's all set for an enthralling matchup. On the FQ show during the week, Matt Smith said that this is a big game and everyone looks forward to playing in big games. And he did acknowledge Knight's brilliant start to the season. But he said that although City haven't got results, he's pretty happy with the way the performances have been. Did acknowledge that it's going to be pretty tough down at Carrara today. Teams are going to have to switch sides. That's something you often see. There might be some way to account for what Matt Smith expects to be a pretty hostile crowd, which he thinks is fantastic. He said he wants to try and foster that spectator environment. Of course, you can check out the FQ show on FQ TV. It's the same platform, of course, that you're watching this on. We hope you enjoy this upcoming game. Should have mentioned that only a couple of days ago this pitch was underwater after the rain in midweek. Craig Jeffries and his team of groundsmen have done a superb job to get the pitch up and into a tip-top condition from a distance. Looks like it's pretty well set, and that'll please Scott McDonald, who did have a little bit of a pop at the pitch in last week's victory over Capella Bar, saying it wasn't conducive to the way that he wanted his team to play. And you saw in that match against Lions just how nicely Knights are willing to move the ball around at the moment. You'd expect them to do the same here today against a Brisbane City team that like to play nice football as well. Everyone's ready? Our referee's just checking that everyone's ready. And we are underway, and it is Gold Coast Knights in the red shirts kicking from right to left. Route 1 from the off, and an early tester for Roman Hoffman, who will be a familiar figure to most of the Gold Coast Knights players. Not Christian Brymora, who he tangled with there. This is his first home game for Gold Coast Knights. He said he was really looking forward to playing in front of a home crowd, and said it really did say that it was important that Knights didn't change anything. The way they've been playing has been really good as City try to move the ball around quickly in their white shirts. Ball forward from Cato. Just missed its intended target. Mirkovic goes inside to Pasquale De Vita. And De Vita, well, he was absolutely sensational in that first up win against Lions. Quality player. Muratovic getting involved. Here's Max Brown. Mirkovic had continued his run forward. Muratovic does well. And the City defence pounced. Tyson Martin, of course, was in City colours last year as the team from Spencer Park went completely undefeated throughout the entire season. Loose pass there from Matt Jones goes out before Kai Bolton can get boot to it. And a good opportunity for Knights just to reset with Tyson Martin. Played 19 games in that 2021 season for City, did Tyson Martin. And he won every single one of them. Loose pass there from Mitch Nichols. No pressure coming on Martin though. Oh, it's a good ball in the end, just evading the attentions of Cato. An opportunity for Knights to get down that wing. Beckwith puts the cross in, headed away pretty comfortably, but not particularly far. Will Peck. Brown Neat one-touch football, but again, pitch doesn't look quite so good over on that side of the field. An opportunity for City to launch the ball forward, well mopped up by Josh Langdon. They can take consecutive trips down the coast for Brisbane City. 2-1 defeat against Gold Coast United last week, who in turn were beaten 1-0 last night against Logan Lightning. Just shows how tight this competition is this year. There's going to be a lot of teams who are able to beat each other, and see probably the two favourites in this competition, or two of the favourites in this competition, Peninsula Power and Lions, suffering defeats in the first couple of weeks. There's an opportunity for Kai Bolton. He was allowed to run, or was really well watched by Tyson Martin, who might have just been clipped by Bolton, but kept to his feet. Nichols, clever. Here's De Vita, has a lot of space to operate in, Pasquale De Vita. Opts to go wide to Mirkovic. Headed away by Sibatuara. Back across goal more than anything though. But here's Brown on the edge of the penalty area. Nichols, that's a really good pass. Pasquale De Vita straight at Duro Dragesevic, who did dive and fumbled the ball a little bit. Nobody was following in. Christian Brymora probably kicking himself, but he wasn't. Tentative, I think the word to use would be for that attack from Gold Coast Knights. They're going to have another opportunity here though. De Vita just trying to spring the trap, and Max Brown couldn't quite thread the ball through to Brymora once more, who did say that it can be frustrating sometimes, and there was a few moments of frustration in the match against Capalaba where things just didn't want to come off for Gold Coast Knights. So it was important just to keep persevering, and that's what the two late goals did for Knights last week, to make sure that they started the season with a 2-0 record. Good pressure here. City really forced to try and play out from the back, and content in playing deep. And managed to get numbers back as well. Now a long ball forward. A little bit too far forward, but Langdon a long way out of his area, does really well, very calm to find Tyson Martin. Well, Martin a little bit too casual there. The pressure came on. And the flag now has gone up against Koji Kato. A 23-year-old former South United player. I'm talking to Matt Smith about him at the start of last season. He said he was at pre-season training and just forced himself into the lineup based on his performances. It wasn't an area that City were looking to strengthen last year in centre midfield, but it ended up working out quite well. What with Preston Hugo's injury. Ball's hooked back in. Matt Smith getting a little bit handsy, and referee Sarai says that's going to be a free kick. Christian Brymora, the impeded party. Max Brown is going to stand over this. Pasquale De Vita has just stealthily walked away to the left. Matt Smith has noticed him, and Sam Sibatuara is the man who's tentatively covering. Three men waiting on the edge of the penalty, joined by a fourth. That fourth is Janiel. He is swept in towards the back post, and Will Peck, the 22-year-old Englishman, is just unable to get his head on that. Heading the 8th tier for Southern League Division 1, Kempston Rovers. Did Mr. Peck, that's a neat link-up play there, as Sibatuara goes on his distinctive run. Nichols just clipped Sibatuara. I think Nichols knew what he was doing, but Sibatuara stayed on his feet. Kato now trying to take up the charge. City just showing a little bit of patience here as Hoffman goes deep. Kato, lively start from him. Kato with a long-range effort, and Langdon was shuffling across, did well to palm the ball down. Kato just picked up the ball, saw an opening and thought, why not? It was an effective save in the end from Langdon. Kato's gone down. City going to have another opportunity. There's a brilliant ball through to Hirayama, and once again Josh Langdon is called upon to make a save, this time diving down to his right. It's good stuff from Brisbane City. That's an excellent pass. The angle wasn't friendly to Yuta Hirayama, but now all of a sudden it's Gold Coast Knights playing the ball around deep inside their own penalty areas. Smith gets his head to that, can only find Nichols, and now Gold Coast Knights will try and play the ball on the ground. DeVita just got stuck under him a little bit. That's a brilliant ball over the top though. Muratovic is still battling and bustling, and it took Matt Smith to come and get involved just to clear the lines there for Brisbane City. Knights want to get things moving quickly. In the Gold Coast sunshine here on a Saturday afternoon. Well dealt with by Dragesevic. His boot to ball straight onto the head of Tyson Martin. Kai Bolton. Apologies, it's Fraser Hills, the skipper. Battling around, does well there, wants the free kick, or at least wants the throw in. It was taken quickly by Nikola Mirkovic. A little bit late on Pasquale DeVita, who certainly let the referee Kamal Pritsarai know all about that. Fraser Hills just leaving the boot in. Important player for Brisbane City, Fraser Hills. Former Mike Cockerell medalist in his time with Brisbane Strikers. 2019 season. Brown. Nichols. Tyson Martin. That's a good pass. DeVita. Brown, little shimmy. Mirkovic is waiting to deliver the ball. Very, very deep over to the far side, and Beckwith controls nicely. Sport coming in the form of Peck. It was a good challenge in the end there by Koji Kato, I think it was. But pressure still on from Gold Coast Knights. DeVita challenged and stopped briefly by Scott Halliday. Here's Brymora. That's a good challenge again. Free kick is given against Brymora. Matt Smith just directing traffic a little bit here. You have to commend Brisbane City for their willingness to play the ball on the ground. Both teams playing very nice football in the opening 11 minutes of this contest. On FQTV. Halliday just couldn't quite get the reverse pass in. Max Brown's head getting in the way. He'll have another opportunity here. Oh, he's done really well there, Scott Halliday. Here's Sibatuara. Chipped over the top towards Hirayama by Fraser Hills. Janiel does well. Mirkovic. Sibatuara just got enough on that. Ball falls for Fraser Hills now. Halliday. Kato, back to Halliday. Halliday with an effort. Doesn't score many, Scott Halliday. That one flying comfortably over the bar from the 24-year-old in his second spell at Brisbane City. Did spend a couple of years at Brisbane Strikers before making the move back to Spencer Park. He didn't score at all last season, Scott Halliday. As Koji Kato goes to ground. Didn't see a play on signal called there, but Sam Sibatuara has the ball in any case. Can't get it past Nikola Mirkovic. It'll be a throw-in. Brilliant from Hills. Sibatuara back inside is an opportunity, and the opening goal for Koji Kato and Brisbane City. It all came from the throw, and it's a lovely pass from Fraser Hills. That's sensational. The ball in. Oh, Kato didn't need a second invitation. He has hammered that into the back of the net. And after an entertaining start, Brisbane City have the lead. Yuta Hirayama it was coming across at the near post. Just getting enough of a touch to interrupt the defensive process of Knights, but it was that ball from Fraser Hills. Absolutely sensational from the 27-year-old Englishman. Halliday, here is Hills. Sibatuara, pair linking up once more. Halliday goes central and gets a return pass. Now Roman Hoffman. Hoffman just linking up with Jackson Simpkin there, who's also in his second spell at Brisbane City after a stint with the Raw Youth. Hirayama felt like he was being impeded there by Janiel De Silva. I don't think he was, not illegally in any case. Knights pass the ball around and create space really, really well. Beckwith, just unfortunate that that ball wasn't to the front of him and he was able to take it in stride, but Knights will still have possession. Maratovic goes back to Brown. A reverse dink pass from Brown to Peck. Peck and Brown linking up once more. Nichols directing traffic, pointing Fraser Hills in the direction of the pass, really. Tyson Martin on this near side was the spare man, just over the top. Allowed to run. Here's Nichols. Didn't quite fall for him and he couldn't quite thread the needle. Well watched by Jackson Simpkin. And safety first. Ball hammered 60, 70 yards back upfield. Knights are going to have to rebuild again. 15 minutes gone in this game. Brisbane City lead it by a goal to nil. Koji Kato with the opening score. Brown trying to thread the needle. Martovic has come deep to find it. He's found Mitch Nichols now, who's injected a little bit of pace, sensing that he needed to do so. Here's Peck. Beckwith is hugging that far sideline, does really well to split two defenders. Now he goes down. Was he clipped? Brisbane City will say no, but the chance is still there for Gold Coast Knights. Now Brisbane City will look to clear. We'll just try and get a replay of that. Was there a little clip there? Kamalpreet Sarai was well positioned. It did look like Luke Beckwith might have just had his ankle tapped. Nichols. Peck. Nichols with a long ball. It's headed away, but not convincingly by Matt Jones. Pressure still on. Pasquale De Vita wants this ball and then gets right in the way of Max Brown, but Max Brown did well in the end to regather his composure. There's some wires being crossed there in this Gold Coast Knights attack. Oh, that's neat. That's really, really neat there from Simpkin and Hoffman. And Simpkin wins the free kick for the foul by Brown. And Roman Hoffman just with a polite tap on the shoulder of his former teammate. And Brisbane City are going to look to counter-attack straight away with Sibatuara, linking up well with Hirayama. Now Kato, Hirayama to the byline, puts the crosser in, and it's a real outstretched hand from Josh Langdon, just to snuff out the danger there because Kai Bolton was lurking. More good football from Brisbane City. There's a good save as Gold Coast Knights come back on the charge up the other end. Entertaining stuff so far from the Croatian Gold Coast Centre. Down in Carrara on the Gold Coast. See the scars, the recent scars from the second bout of flooding that this pitch has suffered in the last week, in the last month or so. The second bout did come in the last week as Nichols just finds himself a little bit of space. De Vita tries to do the same with a neat little touch. It didn't quite fall for him. Pasquale De Vita animatedly appeals for a back pass. I'm not entirely sure a Brisbane City player actually touched the ball in the end, but Pasquale De Vita, who was definitely closer than we are, felt that there was some question to be asked, and City once again passing the ball around very nicely at the back. It's Matt Smith just finds Matt Jones. Halliday had to stretch, plays the ball to Sibatuara in space. Sibatuara is going to get to the byline, goes round Tyson Martin, puts a cross in as well, but couldn't quite wrap his foot around it enough. Again, really good football from Brisbane City. See Halliday just having to stretch, and he pointed to Sibatuara saying, look, there's all the space you need, because that little touch had taken Nikola Mirkovic completely out of the game. The Gold Coast Knights left back has of course plenty of interests outside of the game. Multi-million dollar business that he set up with Alex Tomic, former Gold Coast City player, back in the top flight of Queensland football with Gold Coast Knights, who are trailing here by 1-0. One of just 3 teams in the competition who haven't lost a game so far. As Brimora does well to keep that ball in. It was a really nicely weighted pass in the end down the line. Needs support to come. Max Brown provides that support, and Matt Jones provides the object to block that run. And here's an opportunity perhaps for Hirayama. Flag's gone up though, and much to Janiel De Silva's relief, the 28-year-old sprinting back to try and challenge Yuta Hirayama, the 24-year-old Japanese striker who was top scorer for Brisbane City last year with 15 goals in just 16 appearances. Missed the end of the season with a hamstring injury. Has only played 1 game so far this season as Simpkin plays the ball out rather than risk Luke Beckwith bear down on the penalty area. Beckwith takes the throw-in quickly. A little cute there from Koji Kato. Hands the ball straight back to Knights, and Mitch Nichols, who's calculating where he needs to play this ball, ends up just offloading it to Peck. Beckwith. Oh, ball fortuitously landing back at the feet of Peck. That's a nice little touch for Muratovic. Still there for Gold Coast Knights. Brimora twisting and turning, shadowed all the way by Matt Jones. Gold Coast Knights will still put the pressure on here. Martin. Brown. Opening up for Brown. Is it Brimora now? Brimora took a deflection off Matt Smith this time. Bolton puts it up in the air. Fraser Hills gets underneath it. Doesn't clear convincingly. And it will be a Gold Coast Knights throw in an attacking position. Quickly off to Tyson Martin. All the way back to Janiel, who has been playing something of a lone vigil at the back. Such has been Gold Coast Knights' possession statistics. Hasn't really had to play the long ball because City are content to sit back and then spring when they do win possession, just like they've done now. Kato just turning out of trouble. Hoffman, the former Knight, uses Sam Sibatuara. Now all the way back to player coach Matt Smith. Back in the side after that nasty head gash he suffered against Olympic in the opening game of the season. Simpkin. Looked a little bit too frantic there initially from Simpkin, trying to find Kato. Nichols just tells everyone to take their time. Precise pass to DeVita, who goes down. Free kick is given against Fraser Hills. No, apologies, it wasn't Fraser Hills, it was Matt Smith who just went through the back of DeVita. Jones with the clearance. City wants a free kick now, feeling that Yuta Hiroyama was being manhandled by Janiel. Nichols at walking pace. The feet might be going at snail's pace, but the mind will be going 1,000 miles an hour as he tries to work out what to do next and what string to pull. Put some acceleration in now, Mitch Nichols. Oh, an awkward testing ball for Duro Dragesevic, who did really well just to slide across and make that save. Great stuff from Mitch Nichols. Just opened up for him a little bit. A real awkward one. Might have been going wide, but Dragesevic can't have known that from where he was. Back live now. Koji Kato. Sam Sibatuara is not going to get hold of that. Opportunity for Gold Coast Knights. DeVita. Beckwith is forced to check. Oh, shot comes in, and was that a handball? It was a handball, and it's Sam Sibatuara who's shown the yellow card. He's pleading that it hit him on the shoulder. Matt Smith now having a conversation. So it is a penalty, despite the conversation that Matt Smith had with Kamalpreet Sarai. Very rarely get those overturned. And so now it'll be Pasquale DeVita against Duro Dragesevic to level things up. Oh, DeVita, cool and as calm as you like. And Gold Coast Knights are back on level terms. Very cool, very calm, very calculated. From Pasquale DeVita, who gets his second goal of the season to go along with the one he scored against Lions on the first weekend of the season. The Napoli-born midfielder who took the FQPL by storm last year with South West Queensland Thunder, and he's doing exactly the same in the National Premier League's Queensland with Gold Coast Knights. It was a thunderous shot that led to the penalty being given against Sibatuara. It's been a really entertaining game this. 27 minutes gone. Gold Coast Knights 1, Brisbane City 1.
Gold Coast Knights scored by number 7, Pasquale Davita. Score is now Knights 1, Brisbane City 1.
Kato tried to thread the needle through to Hirayama. Hirayama felt like he was being fouled, and so too did the Brisbane City bench, but City will maintain possession. Kato. Hills. Kato. Halliday. Is that a handball by Hirayama? No, says Kamalpreet Sarai. Here's an opportunity perhaps over on that far sideline. Through Kai Bolton. Kai Bolton thinks that should have been Brisbane City ball. As it is, it will be a goal kick. Davita, the scorer of the equaliser from the penalty spot, gets the return pass from Muratovic. Davita, oh, clever little flick inside to Max Brown, who has a little bit of space. Closed down by Halliday. Mirkovic has been playing very far forward for left back. And then Hoffman and Davita just have an exchange of views and a nice little embrace after the fact. How things can turn. Got a little bit heated momentarily. Then all friends again. Matt Jones on a rare foray forward. Hills did well and wins a free kick at the second time of asking. The foul ongoing, I believe, is what Kamalpreet Sarai is going to say. Nikola Mirkovic can't believe that the decision's gone against him. Hills wants to take it quickly, and Kamalpreet Sarai says, you can take it quickly, but I'm having a conversation at the moment. I want to finish that conversation, please. Which I imagine is what Mirza Muratovic is explaining as well to Fraser Hills. Nevertheless, a free kick in a promising position for Brisbane City. And Fraser Hill's still questioning why he can't take the free kick. It turns out that he tried to take it about 10 yards inside from where the free kick had in fact been given from. So it was the initial challenge that Kamalpreet Sarai was unhappy with and played a little bit of advantage and saw there was none forthcoming thanks to the tackle from Mirkovic. But here's Fraser Hills. It's a really good free kick. Janiel was there to get the ball away, and now Pasquale Davita can't find his way through past Scott Halliday, who does really well acrobatically and plays the ball to Fraser Hills, who plays the ball back inside to Yuta Hirayama, who will need support as Martin puts the pressure on and eventually concedes the throw-in. Halliday with the quickly taken throw-in to Kato. Goes all the way back to Sam Sibiswara, who's very deep all of a sudden. Simpkin. Smith finds Jones. Halliday. Ball is picked up by Gold Coast Knights' Will Peck, and as it came off Kamalpreet Sarai, it'll be a drop ball. Not enough elevation on that pass by Halliday, so City will have another opportunity to set things up and couldn't quite spring the trap there. On the way through, well, its intended target was Kai Bolton over on that left-hand side, who incidentally was Brisbane City's second highest goal scorer last year with 10 goals from 15 games. Missed the end of the season due to breaking his shoulder. Nasty injury to come back from, but he's come back pretty well, scoring the only goal prior to today's match that City have scored in their 2 games so far this season. They've doubled that tally though. We're going to get a little bit of attention from Christian Brimora, who's gone down injured. It was a head knock, judging by the way he's holding his head, and we'll just get a little bit of a talking over with the Gold Coast Knights physio. This is Shinzamatsu. Scott McDonald just giving some instructions. Seen his side come from a goal down. First time they've been behind since that match against Lions in the opening weekend of the season. We know what happened then. Brisbane City will be very hopeful that that doesn't happen on this occasion. Having a slight break up in pictures at the moment, so apologies for that. There's a drop ball. Fraser Hills goes straight back to Josh Langdon, and Gold Coast Knights will have an opportunity to restart. A couple of games still to play tonight in the National Premier League. Queensland Peninsula Power against East at AJ Kelly Park. Warren Bay United against Olympic, at Walter Park. 6:30 kickoff on both those games, and Lions take on Sunshine Coast Wanderers. Big game, that one. That one's taking place at Lions Stadium. You can watch all of those games on FQTV. Or of course you could go and see the games live at the grounds and support some of the clubs that have been affected by the recent floods. And get out and get some fresh air as well on this Saturday evening, why not? Scott Halliday. Just a little outside of the boot pass inside. Matt Smith from a long way, keeping his eye on the ball. That was his tip on the FQ show during the week, even if it did get him into a spot of bother against Olympic. His photo has been doing the rounds of the aftermath on Matt Smith's skull from that collision. Good to see him back out there and playing well after passing the concussion protocols, something I know they take very seriously at Brisbane City. Brimora does well to keep that ball in. Now Pasquale De Vita as Knights come forward once again. Will Peck, Beckwith just sold a little bit short, and it does come off between the 19-year-old, and out for a goal kick. City, again, they're so willing and so able just to play the ball out from the back and trusting the skills that they have, and playing a bit of cat and mouse with Christian Brimora at the moment are the two Matts, Smith and Jones. And the latter of those plays the ball forward now to Hirayama, who wins a free kick after the foul by Janiel Da Silva. No, you can't do that, Kamal Pritsarai explains to the 28-year-old Brazilian. Sibituara gets things back underway. Matt Smith wants a little bit more energy from his side with 9 minutes to go before the break. Arayama just putting the pressure on Will Peck, who shows his strength just to outmuscle the Japanese striker. Oh, clever from De Vita, really clever, and that's played in Mirza Muratovic, who's on the charge now. Mirza Muratovic. We have lost some pictures. Huge apologies for this, not a lot we can do, I'm afraid. Brisbane City did manage to snuff out that chance though. Thankfully, nothing came of that opportunity. De Vita. Don't want to give him too much time and space because he has a tendency to punish teams that do so, and he doesn't need much time or space to inflict that punishment either. He was unable to do so there, but City will need to be aware of the Italian, as Janiel does well to just evade the attentions of Yuta Hirayama. Scott Halliday remonstrates with himself. He's unable to get hold of that ball. Angle's all wrong from Nikola Mirkovic. It did come off Sam Sibatuara. So say the officials. Yep, just off the face of Sam Sibatuara. Despite the protestations from the Brisbane City players, notably not Sam. He's probably nursing a slightly stinging cheek, one would expect. Let's try and thread the needle. There's an opportunity there for De Vita to be played in by Brown. Instead he goes back to his skipper Nichols. Peck, why not? And it took a deflection, I think, off Mirza Muratovic, and it will be a goal kick in the end for Brisbane City. Will Peck hoping to mark his debut with Knights with a goal, and the deflection just didn't work out for him. Here's an opportunity though for Knights, headed away from danger by Smith, and now Yuta Hirayama's going to give Janiel something to think about. And Josh Langdon goes back over to Peck. Very cool and calm from a 21-year-old goalkeeper, 22-year-old goalkeeper I should say. Roman Hoffman bundled to the ground by Beckwith after the ball had gone. City still have possession. Again, apologies for the breakup of picture. It's as frustrating for you as it is for me, I promise. Brown. Big clump of shirt being grabbed there by Matt Jones. Allowed to continue though, was play, and the ball played forward to Mirkovic, but Matt Smith was back. The ball has stayed in. I think everyone from Brisbane City expected it to go out, so Max Brown capitalises on that. De Vita to Brymora. Brymora wants to shape to shoot. That's a well-timed challenge from Matt Jones though. Still there for Knights through Muratovic. De Vita to Beckwith. That's a brilliant ball. Oh, and it's fallen straight. No, it hasn't. Mirkovic didn't get hold of it. Straight to Duro Dragesevic. Beckwith's got to the byline a couple of times, flicked away by Matt Smith. It worked out for Brisbane City in the end. Mirkovic made solid enough contact. The ball didn't fly off his boot though. Martin just interrupts that ball's flow. Now De Vita just showed too much of it to Matt Smith. That's excellent work from Bolton. Through ball, not the best, and then excellent from Fraser Hills, getting in between Janiel Da Silva and the ball. And he'll take it quickly. Oh, it's a brilliant sliding challenge to stop that ball flying through. I think it was Max Brown, was it? Quick thinking from Fraser Hills. Yeah, it was Max Brown, and a little bit of coming together over there on that far side. Will Peck is the man who's on the ground, and Fraser Hills is going to get a talking to, if not more. Sorry, showing he's still got a touch. Mitch Nichols being told to go away. Yellow card to Fraser Hills. Will Peck appears to be okay. Fraser Hills just getting some encouragement there from the Brisbane City bench, just to keep trying, and presumably just to keep his head as well, just to make sure he doesn't overstep the line. Janiel goes back to Langdon, who has to come and get it. Brown. Nichols. 2.5 minutes to go before the half-time break. There will be stoppage time though, of course. Vita was sold short there, and can City capitalise instead and spring an attack of their own? Cato back to Hills. Sabatoir had hoped that that ball wasn't for him, but it probably was. You can see the encouragement from the Brisbane City bench. It's John Murphy, who is the eyes and ears for Matt Smith while he's on the pitch. Nichols gets the ball away in the end. Martin does well. Pressure was coming from Scott Halliday. Not sure if he managed to get anything on the ball, but it's still there for Tyson Martin until Matt Smith just summarily dismisses the ball back downfield to Nichols. Now Brown just trying to see if there is an obvious opening in this Brisbane City defence. They've managed to get numbers back, City, at the times that they've needed to get back, as Kai Bolton shows a little bit too much of that ball, but it's fallen for Kai Bolton thanks to a little intervention from Hirayama. Bolton at the byline. There's 3 men in the penalty area and Bolton can't get the ball through, and he thinks that he just got a little bit of a knock on the ribs, and Janiel is suggesting that there was nothing in it. I don't think there was anything intentional in it. Little doubt that the boot did touch Kai Bolton in the midriff. Hoffman does well. Cato just nips in. It was Hirayama. Cato has taken up the charge. Scott Halliday. Nice footwork from the 24-year-old. Sibatuara. Ball might find its way through to Hirayama. It wasn't the best ball in from Sibatuara. Brisbane City supporters wanting a handball for that. Don't think the hands were outside of the silhouette from Janiel as Knights come up the other end of the field now, looking threatening. Muratovic. That's done really well there by Simpkin. Knights do manage to get players forward. They do commit players forward in those situations, and they have support there when they need it. De Vita, there was no opening, so he goes wide to Nichols. Nichols' cross helped away on the rebound by Bolton, and then there was a handball there. De Vita flicks the ball away. I'm sure he'd say accidentally. Roman Hoffman doesn't see it that way as Smith gets things moving once again for Brisbane City. Cato to Hirayama. Hirayama, there's no angle for him to work with, but he will win a corner kick. And that's really quick thinking, really clever football from Brisbane City. Matt Smith, he saw that Koji Cato was waiting, managed to find the ball through to him, and Yuta Hirayama wanted to capitalise once again and didn't let on that there were no players arriving in support for Brisbane City. And in stoppage time, it is the visitors who have an opportunity to retake the lead. Matt Jones wants the ball at the back post. It's going to be aimed slightly more centrally, and Janiel throws his body at the ball, gets it away to Koji Cato. Halliday, deep ball back towards the back post. Matt Jones is there. And Josh Langdon desperate not to concede a corner kick. In the end, it was pretty much a non-event because the whistle has gone for half-time, and an entertaining half of football. That's really flown by, that first half at Carrara. Gold Coast Knights won, Brisbane City won. It was Koji Cato who thumped home from close range to give Brisbane City a lead in the 13th minute, and then a handball from Sam Sibatuara in the penalty area off a thunderous shot ended up resulting in Pasquale De Vita comfortably stroking the ball home in the 27th minute from the spot. Entertaining half of football on the Gold Coast. We'll be back for the second half in the National Premier League Queensland after these messages.
They say you can't choose your family, but you can choose your football family. A family has legends you look up to. And the up-and-comers. A family pitches in and works together as a team. We have the ones who keep us in check, and we motivate each other to be the best. Be the best! But it's my brothers and my sisters who always have my back. That's why even my real family love my football family. So what are you waiting for? Join our team. Come on!
Felton Industries is proud to be the official shelter and grandstands partner of Football Queensland. Felton offers a range of premium aluminium grandstands, from elite portable spectator seating to soccer team shelters for players and coaches. Give your fans the best view of the game with Felton's comfortable spectator seating. With sun-safe shelters or powder-coated in your team colours. Whatever your club needs, Felton has a high-quality, low-maintenance seating option to suit. We are the pioneers in Australian-made grandstands and team shelters. Contact Felton today on 1800 834 016 or visit felton.net.au.
Vito Sports pride themselves on delivering top-quality FIFA regulation-compliant goals. Each goal is made from durable, high-density, thick aluminium and then finished in a white powder coat. To provide quick delivery, Vito Sports stock all goals in this range within their Brisbane distribution warehouse, allowing customers to quote, order and deliver in a matter of days. If you'd like to inquire about the Vito Sports goal range, email us at admin@vitosports.com.
Gentlemen, the teams are making their way out, so please top up your drinks, grab yourself some hot food. We're just about to get underway here in the second half of action.
Welcome back for the second half at the Carrara Gold Coast Sports Centre, where we are locked up at 1 each in a really entertaining game so far. Had some really good passing football from both teams as they try to create an opening. It was a goal from Koji Kato in the 13th minute that gave Brisbane City the lead, and then a 27th minute penalty after a handball by Sam Sibatuara that levelled things up, and there's been opportunities from both teams. Brilliant ball from Koji Kato with the outside of the boot to Hirayama. Needed support to come. Oh, support has come now in the form of Fraser Hills. And he didn't quite get that one right, Fraser Hills, the City captain in the absence of Dan Bowles. Just missed the pass with the replay, but we will see the shot. Oh, he certainly got hold of it. Did Fraser Hills. Sinking with the header. And then getting the ball to feet as well, finding Matt Smith, who returned this week after that nasty head gash ruled him out of the 2-1 defeat further on down the coast at Talabudra against Gold Coast United. City, throughout that first half, very committed to playing the ball out from the back. Slight change at half-time, I think. Looks like Koji Kato's playing at left back. Hills couldn't quite thread the needle back to Sibatuara. Good battling though from the Englishman. Here is Koji Kato. One step over two, then a wild shot. Mitch Nichols just saying, yeah, you probably want that one again, don't you? Great perseverance, great battling qualities there from Fraser Hills. Kato definitely wanted it on the right boot. Nichols showed him just enough, and well, that almost beat the... There's an opportunity now for City. Knights trying to play the ball out from the back, not doing brilliantly. And then Hills can't quite thread the needle through to Hirayama. See the ball from Janiel, could only find Kai Bolton. And Hills, and Hirayama was probably just about onside, but he certainly needed to check. Interesting though. Again, both teams have been playing nice passing football in the first half as Hills finds Cato. Bolton. And the City are back into their typical setup, so perhaps reading into too much of a positioning there from Koji Cato early, as Halliday does really well. Cato trying to find Hirayama. Oh, ball might still be there. Janiel just headed the ball straight up in the air. Josh Langdon had to be alert to come out and win the ball. It was excellent work from Halliday. Little pass over the top. Back live now as Simpkin goes back to Dragicevic. Now Jones. Hills. Like a live wire in this second half. He's had a good first 4 minutes of it. Halliday with a brilliant ball, trying to find Kai Bolton, who does well to keep it in fact can't quite do so. Halliday just pinging that ball cross field. Excellent work. Langdon clears upfield. Hoffman, the former Knight. Hills. Grounded well. Grounded really well, in fact. Here's an opportunity perhaps for Beckwith. Matt Smith just about managed to get the ball away on that occasion. Beckwith just putting pressure on Kai Bolton. Now Beckwith can't quite do Kai Bolton. That was absolutely brilliant from Kai Bolton. No space at all to work with. And he's managed to escape up the byline now. Can he do the same to the Englishman Will Peck? No, he can't. But that was highlights reel worthy from Kai Bolton. Ball's fallen for Fraser Hills, and if he can keep his feet, there's an opportunity here. Hills couldn't thread the needle to Hirayama. Janiel did really well. And his clearance, though, is stopped by Cato. City building a little bit of pressure here, the visitors. They did take the lead early on in this contest. It's been an entertaining one throughout. Cato just got his foot stuck there a little bit in the muddy area as now Matt Jones just nips in and steals possession from Pasquale De Vita. Scott McDonald spoke after the match against Capalaba that he was so impressed with the depth of the squad that he has at his disposal and how every player needs to really continue to impress if they're to get a run in the starting lineup. So they know that they have to perform if they want to stay in the team. And to that end, there are options for him on the bench as Simpkin takes the ball forward. Fraser Hills now. Cato just had his pocket picked by Tyson Martin, who has certainly performed in the red of Gold Coast Knights so far this season. He's on the charge here. Couldn't find the passing lane that he wanted to, so uses Pasquale De Vita in support. Nichols. Mikovic had continued his run, and he's still buzzing around the edge of the penalty area. Peck. De Vita shrugs his shoulders, says, well, come on. We've got an opportunity here. City have managed to get numbers back well, and they have done that really well all game. Well left by Brown. Mirkovic. Pasquale De Vita can't quite pick possession up because he was thwarted by Koji Kato. Knights still have possession though with Brown. Peck wants the pass. Now he threads the ball through to Beckwith. Beckwith finds Peck in the penalty area. Matt Smith, cool and calm as you like, side foots the ball away, but it's still there for Knights through Brown. Max Brown, now Nichols. Nichols goes back across field to Martin via Janiel Da Silva. Matt Jones says he's had enough of this and puts a boot to ball and tries to get Yuta Hirayama involved. Josh Langdon though now in possession. And Knights turn the screw. They've had spells of possession like this throughout the game and they've used them pretty well, but not on that occasion. Sibatuara just nipping in, and a free kick has been given for the nudge on Sam Sibatuara. Gold Coast Knights 1, Brisbane City 1. National Premier League's Queensland. This is round 5. It might just be the third game of the season, but round 5 it is. It's actually an auspicious day in Australian football history, the 45th anniversary of the National Soccer League kicking off. City didn't play on that first day. They played on Sunday the 3rd of April 1977 against Marconi at Perry Park in front of 5,214 fans. Marconi side coached by Rale Rasic, no less. City lost that game though by a goal to nil. Peter Shan got the only goal of the game in the 83rd minute. So hopefully from a City perspective and for the City supporters that won't be a portent of what's to come in this contest, as Kai Bolton takes the ball in stride, does well, shoulder to shoulder, still on his feet. Kai Bolton goes to ground, no foul of course. It was really good defence by Will Peck. We'll have a little look at it now. Another brilliant pass. He's taken the control really well. Peck coming across. Well, he does sensationally. Here's an opportunity though at the other end. Ball's found its way through to Muratovic, and that's a goal for Gold Coast Knights. Mirza Muratovic turning a defence into attack so quickly, and they get that go-ahead goal. And Gold Coast Knights have made a habit of coming from behind already this season. That's Mirza Muratovic's second goal of the season. They'll be thanking their right back, Will Peck, for sprinting across and challenging Kai Bolton in the penalty area, winning the ball fairly. And then it was a lightning counter-attack back up the other end, and the pressure had been coming from Gold Coast Knights. They'd been passing the ball around nicely, they'd been turning the screw a little bit, but Brisbane City will certainly be thinking that they're not out of this contest. And rightly so. It takes two to tango, and this has been a beautiful dance we've been watching so far this evening, as Muratovic, the goal scorer, just fouls Jackson Simpkin. Would have been in the Raw Youth set up together at some stage, perhaps. Martin doing enough to assist Janiel to get the ball upfield. Here's Simpkin again. This ball round Muratovic. De Vita came in. That's a lovely control by Koji Kato. That's a good challenge from Janiel Da Silva because Hirayama was very interested. That's a peach of a pass from Nichols to find Mirkovic. That's a peach of a pass from Mirkovic to find Pasquale De Vita. De Vita can't find his way through. Oh, he still does, De Vita! And it was Matt Smith who got his boots to ball. Jackson Simpkin unable to effect the challenge. And it was Left up to the 39-year-old veteran to thwart Gold Coast Knights on that occasion. Pasquale De Vita, who has already scored in this game from the spot, looking to drive a nail into the hopes and aspirations of Brisbane City in this contest by getting a second in as many minutes for the hosts. Simpkin goes back to Matt Smith now. Halliday. Nichols just nibbling at the heels of Scott Halliday. Hills. This was pretty well dealt with in the end, and Mirza Muratovic now has possession and he's looking to get some support. Arrives with the form of the teenager Beckwith. He was thwarted. Fairly roughshod by Roman Hoffman. Clouds gathering on the Gold Coast. Langdon. Good composure from the youngster. Beckwith finds Nichols, does well, now returns and receives the return pass. Left Mirza Muratovic a little bit short, and Kai Bolton does his defensive duties now and goes on a little mazy run. Pasquale De Vita didn't miss with that shoulder check. Mitch Nichols didn't miss the ball with his. Pasquale De Vita couldn't quite find Bry Mora as Brisbane City's substitutes go and warm up behind the goal. They have options of the bench. Brandon Reeves, Luke Plummer, Chris Morsaray, Arthur Antonis. All capable of adding something to this team, but again, as Scott McDonald already said, there's a fair few impressive players on the Gold Coast Knights bench too. Dan Dragicevic, Kai Tipaldo, who's scored on both occasions he's come off the bench so far this season. He has 3 in 2 appearances. 23-year-old. Oliver Stortner, Lavin Atwell as well on the bench. Stopeka unlikely to be used unless an injury occurs for Josh Langdon. Likewise, Riley Stent, but with Duro Dragicevic. Arriving at pace was Peck. Just adding a little bit of drive to this attack from Knights. He leaves well for his skipper Nichols. And back to Peck. Precise pass to Martin from Mitch Nichols. Now Mirkovic gets to the byline. Oh, finds Mirza Muratovic, and now an opportunity for Pasquale De Vita, who wants a penalty, I think, for the block. Maybe was there a hand? City players down. Mirza Muratovic has possession on the edge of the penalty area. He twists one way, then goes the other. Opportunity perhaps for Tyson Martin. Pasquale De Vita! He was an inch away from doubling his tally. Oh, excellent football from Gold Coast Knights. Great patience. Muratovic did well. De Vita, no backlift. You see how close he was. Matt Smith. Matt Jones. To Hirayama. Up against Janio, and then sliding out was Langdon. Hirayama and Janiel just having a good battle there. As Martin goes forward, was he hit late or did he just slip? Doesn't quite get his angles right with the pass in any case, so it'll be a Brisbane City throw over on that far side of the field. Hirayama's going to bust a gut to try and put the pressure on. Pressure did continue to come, but Knights are equal to it, and Hirayama is really fighting a individual battle up there on his own at the moment. Imagine he'll run himself into the ground before the introduction of Reeves, unless Reeves is brought on to act as a foil. Ball went out, I think, so it'll be a throw into Brisbane City. Halliday and Jones just linking up. Halliday just pushed at DeVita, who nipped in to steal possession. Simpkin shadowed that ball effectively. And Matt Jones just launches the ball upfield. Bolton mops up. Will Peck unable to get much on the ball. Here's Fraser Hills, skipper today for Brisbane City. We're facing a third straight defeat in the National Premier League's Queensland. Has been a tough start, 2 trips to the Gold Coast, a trip to Goodwin Park as well, against perennial finalists Olympic. That's a good ball to Hirayama, but he's got Josh Langdon was out. Doesn't get much easier for Brisbane City either. Moreton Bay United next up, next Saturday at Walter Park. I think they play Wanderers the week after at home. They do have a Australia Cup tie between now and then, though, this Wednesday at Leyshon Park against Yeronga Eagles. 7:15 kickoff on Wednesday, that one. And Gold Coast Knights are in action on Wednesday as well at Runaway Bay. So both those NPL sides look to get past potential banana skins in the newly branded Australia Cup competition. Simpkin to Hills. The run was a good one from Cato, but it was well watched by Janiel, and although he had to wait on it, stood strong and tall. Maratovic was offside. Time for a change, and it is going to be Brandon Reeves who comes on, and it's going to be a substitution for Gold Coast Knights as well. Kai Tipaldo will come on. It's Roman Hoffman who is actually making way for Brandon Reeves, so a slight change in shape, you'd think, for Brisbane City. And Pasquale DeVita, who scored the equalising goal from the spot, could have had a second not long ago. He's replaced by Kai Tipaldo, whose strike rate must be about a goal every 20 minutes or so far this National Premier League's Queensland season. 3 goals off the bench, twice scoring against Lions, and then once to help seal the victory against Capalaba last week. The former Gold Coast City player, and player who played at both Brisbane Roar Youth and Newcastle Jets Youth. Oh, Matt Smith, who played plenty for the Brisbane Roar, won 3 grand finals and 2 premierships, of course. Won 3 Socceroos caps, never with Scott McDonald, though, his opposite number, who played 26 times. Socceroo number 489, up against Socceroo 552 in this match. Brown and Koji Kato continue to battle, and Koji Kato has come out on top of that one. Sibatuara finds Jones, who finds Smith, who finds Simpkin. City look to stretch the play to his near side. Little slip there from Fraser Hills. Still manages to retain possession, though, with Simpkin. Reeves gets that ball in behind Mirkovic. Sibatuara battling, wins a corner kick. Some encouragement from the visiting supporters down at Carrara. You can see the impact of those floods on that part of the pitch. The rest of it looking in impeccable condition thanks to Craig Jeffries and his team. This pitch was underwater midweek, should be remembered. As Kai Bolton goes over to take the corner, takes it quickly to Fraser Hills, who whips across him from a different angle. It's pinballing around. Tyson Martin swung a boot at it and hammered the ball away. Martin, against his former club, has proven to be a tricky proposition, tricky nut for City to crack, as Mirkovic can't quite make the challenge on Fraser Hills, who wins a throw-in. Kato, Sibatuara. Just pushed off Sibatuara there. Smith to Simpkin. Grayama back to Halliday. Running onto it was Jones. Sibatuara tried to find Fraser Hills, but slightly awkward first touch for Sibatuara. Just allows Knights to get in. It's good pressure from Brisbane City though, good ball retention. Knights have done this earlier on in the contest, just keeping possession, just turning the screw a little bit. They've done it in their attacking third though. City have been able to do so, but now here is Hirayama, and it was a good sprawling stop from Josh Langdon, stopping that ball from coming across. Great long ball it was too from Kai Bolton, who's been the beneficiary of a couple of those so far in this game. And arriving was Reeves. Would have been very interesting had Langdon not been able to sprawl across and make that save. And again, that's not the first time he's had to make that type of save in the preceding 70 minutes of this contest. Gold Coast Knights coming from behind to lead Brisbane City by 2-1 as Kai Bolton gets onto the end of that long ball. Can't quite control it though, and it is out for a goal kick. That's the game plan at the moment from Brisbane City, trying to stretch down that left attacking side, right defensive side for Knights, which is where Nikola Mirkovic has been really, really good, but he's been pushing forward a lot. And just perhaps identifying that as being somewhere that they can just capitalise on. Sibatuara let the ball bounce. Mirkovic does really, really well over on that far side of the field and then runs out of space. Still a lot to play for in this game. Knights looking to go 3-0. City hoping to avoid going 0-3. Last time City played down at Carrara, the game did finish 2-2, and it was actually City who led by 2-0 in that game. Lockie Sayers and Dan Fabrizio scoring the goals before Jason Makwaze and Adam Indian pulled the score back for Knights. That was in round 12 of the 2020 season. And other than that draw though, the 4 matches that these two teams have played in the National Premier League Queensland have all been won by Gold Coast Knights by scores of 1-0, 2-0 and 3-0. Brandon Reeves with some early touches, taking the ball past his fellow substitute from the opposition. Cartipaldo, both big men. When you see them dancing around like they did just on that occasion over on the far side of the field, as Kai Bolton latches onto another really good ball, puts a cross in this time, headed away by Tyson Martin. Nichols has time to wait. Gets the ball upfield, and that's really well won by Christian Brymora. An opportunity for Kai Tipaldo. to run against Matt Jones. Wants support, gets it in the form of Mirkovic. Mirkovic at pace, does really well. Mirkovic, oh, ball flashes across the face. There's a City player down. Is it Matt Smith? Yes, it is. He's off the field, though. Good opportunity for Kai Tipaldo. Puts the ball wide. It was a good save from Duro Dragesovic. You can see Matt Smith down. Tipaldo wins the ball. Oh, and it was a good save, Dragesovic. I think City weren't quite sure what was going on with their coach off the field. Play was allowed to continue. City played on at first. It was a brilliant save by that man in the middle of your screen there, Duro Dragesovic, 22-year-old. Former Australian under-17 international, played at the under-17 World Cup in Chile in 2015. Was a runaway Bay Junior, and he's down on the Gold Coast doing his degree. Ball is swung in. Ayama loses out there to Mirkovic. Mirkovic puts the cross in, and it's headed home very easily, very comfortably by Will Peck, who gets his first goal in Gold Coast Knights colours. Lovely ball, lovely header. And the Brisbane City defence just went missing. Will Peck gets Gold Coast Knights third. And with the tight nature of this game so far, you do get the feeling that that might be enough for Gold Coast Knights, who will go top momentarily at least of the National Premier League's Queensland table. How much was that injury for Matt Smith impacting in the way the City defence just did a vanishing act there in the face of that Gold Coast Knights aggression? It was a really lovely, deft cross. And it was an easy header for Will Peck, the 22-year-old Englishman, latterly of Kempston Rovers in the Southern League Division 1, 8th tier of English football. The Knights, well, they might feel that they can get a few more here. Mirza Muratovic now, trying to go around the outside of Simpkin, who's not offering him too much space. Nichols gets his skates on and manages to pick up the loose ball. Brown, support arriving from Mirkovic. Mirkovic again, receiving the ball from Martin. Now it's Will Peck. Nichols, bit of space for him to operate in. Muratovic. Oh, space is there, and another goal, no! Great opportunity for Christian Brymora. And he had acres of space all of a sudden. Oh, he's flashed that wide. Luke Plummer, the former Peninsula Power defender, has come on to replace the coach, I think. Yes, Matt Smith it is, over on that far side of the field. Just cramp maybe. City will be hoping so. There's an opportunity perhaps for Hirayama off a mistake at the back. Now Reeves can't quite keep the ball under his control, and Janiel will run it out. Great opportunity for Brisbane City. Lovely ball, the header up from Will Peck, not the best. Hirayama found Reeves, the pressure came in though from Tyson Martin. And City will have to build again from the back. They won't want to switch off now, Gold Coast Knights. As Mirkovic makes his way through the middle. Tapaldo watched the ball go over his head and thought, oh, I might give chase to that. Nichols, he gave chase too, and he's won the ball back. Beckwith goes a long way back though to Janiel. Now Tyson Martin. Good football from Gold Coast Knights. Really clever stuff. Max Brown can't thread the needle through. Matt Jones finds Kato, and here's an opportunity for Hirayama. Hirayama goes past one, goes past another. Hirayama, Yuta Hirayama, big strong save from Josh Langdon. Great stuff from the Gold Coast Knights keeper, Yuta Hirayama. Well, he left Janiel on his backside. It was a brilliant stop though from Josh Langdon. And Janiel, perhaps upset at being dumped on his backside, has given away a free kick for a push on Brisbane City's Japanese striker. It did look like the arm was extended, so free kick in a promising position for Brisbane City. Kai Bolton will take it. 3 men in the wall, 3 men in the penalty area for Brisbane City. Fraser Hills is interested as well. Probably suit the left foot of Kai Bolton more, you'd think, if they're going to go for goal and test Josh Langdon, allow those 4 men now to race in. It is going to be Bolton, high over the top, and the Bronx cheers greet that effort. It's Fraser Hills with the decoy. Couple more games to come around the traps in the National Premier League's Queensland this evening. Peninsula Power take on East today, Jay Kelly. Moreton Bay United take on Olympic at Walter Park. Both those games kicking off at 6:30, and Lions face Sunshine Coast Wanderers. Big game that, 7 o'clock at the Lion Richlands for that game. And then tomorrow's action takes place at Max Haynes Field in Capella when the Bulldogs host the Roar at 5 o'clock. Catch all those matches on FQTV. It's Tapaldo. His pass is picked off by Koji Kato, who tried to find Yuta Hirayama. Kato, a bundle of energy all game. Wants to try an up-tempo Brisbane City's attack. That pass from Scott Halliday picked off pretty easily in the end by Mirza Muratovic. An opportunity from downtown, and it's a long way wide in the end. I think it was Max Brown whose eyes lit up when he saw how far Duro Dragesovic was off his line. And it was Max Brown attempting something spectacular. It was a long way wide in the end. Mitch Nichols. There's only 8 minutes to go in this game. It's been a really entertaining contest. Gold Coast Knights leading it by 3-1. Brisbane City took the lead, just as they did last time they appeared on the Gold Coast just a week ago against Gold Coast United. It was Koji Kato this time who scored in the 13th minute of the game. Pasquale De Vita levelled things from the spot in the 27th minute, and then 2 second-half goals. The first to Mirza Muratovic and the second to Will Peck has meant that Brisbane City now trail Gold Coast Knights by a 2-goal margin. Oliver Stortner is going to come on in place of Mirza Muratovic. Hirayama, his evening has ended as well. He's going to be replaced by Arthur Antonis. Really biting my tongue so I don't comment on the haircut of Arthur Antonio. Samson Batuara is off as well, it appears. I'll have to check to see who has replaced the 25-year-old. It's Chris Morseray, and he's on the ball here. Wants the throw in, takes it as well. Antonis. Oh, that's a good ball. Reeves had to check his run. Cato under pressure from Stortner. And Beckwith blowing up that should have been a Gold Coast Knights throw, and that is the way that it has gone. Chris Morseray just getting a bit of a ticking off from Carmel Prince Sarai. Don't start like that, the referee said. There must have been something said by the teenager who has been a player that's been with City for a long time and has been on their radar as a player to watch for the future for a long time as well. Really excited to see how he does in senior men's football. This ball's played over the top, trying to find Antonis, can't quite get him. Koji Kato got a piece of Kai Tapaldo, not enough for a free kick though, and here's an opportunity for Antonis. Antonis just chips the ball straight to Josh Langdon's palms. Was that a free kick? Well, perhaps Koji Kato was judged to have won the ball. And then Antonis, was it a cross towards Kai Bolton? We'll never know, I guess. It's 5 minutes remaining in this contest, and it has been thoroughly entertaining. Christian Brymora has worked incredibly hard all game. As time is running out for him to get his third goal in as many starts for his new club. That is a corner kick. Not much energy from Knights to take it quickly, and you can certainly understand that. Opportunity perhaps for the hosts to grab a fourth. They've been pretty free scoring so far this season. 6 goals in the first round, 2 in the second. They're on 3 here. Will they be on 4? Will it be Martin? It won't. He managed to get a snapshot away as the ball fell to him, but never quite sat for the big centre-back, who would have loved, I'm sure, to score against his former club. It was Jackson Simpkin, who's arguably his replacement, who managed to get the block in. Just thwarting the hosts from scoring their fourth. The ball stayed in, and Arthur Antonis is going to give chase. I think Jenny will have to work for it, and work for it he did, the Brazilian. Goes back to Josh Langdon. Also, he's so quick, and Beckwith had what he felt was plenty of time. And none, and that's brilliant from Chris Morseray, linking up with Arthur Antonis. Antonis has a deflection, it's a brilliant save, is it? It is a brilliant save, oh my goodness! Josh Langdon, how did he stick a hand out to it? And then to gather on the return, Morseray did brilliantly to win possession. The deflection probably helped Langdon in the end, off the back of Tyson Martin. But that's sensational. Right up the other end now, we're back live. Kai Tapaldo on the charge. Sliding challenge came in from Luke Plummer. That ball's been kept in really well. Good battling performance there on the byline from that particular Gold Coast Knight. Antonis wants that ball. Gold Coast Knights are going to make another change. Josh Langdon. I don't think he could have stretched more if he did 15 more years of yoga to get that arm out. Absolutely brilliant stop. And then he would have been incredibly grateful when the ball landed back in his lap as Will Peck goes on the charge. Finds Starkner. Tipaldo. Tipaldo goes all the way back to Brown. Max Brown straight down the throat of Langdon. Apologies of Dragicevic. Pressure that came from Chris Morseray. The pace that he arrived at. Goal for Brisbane City would make things very interesting in the final couple of minutes, but Gold Coast Knights have held firm. Get the feeling that that chance for Arthur Antonis was the best that's going to come Brisbane City's way. Hills. Morseray's quick, but not quite that quick. Substitution is coming. Not sure who it is who's coming on, I'm afraid. Can see behind the goal that Riley Stent has decided that he's not going to be involved, and so he has gone off the field. It's going to be Kai Stupka. He's going to come on. He's going to replace Christian Brimora. So Stopka, who scored twice last week in Knights' 5-4 defeats against Capalabra in the under-23s. He's going to come on to make his Gold Coast Knights debut for the senior team. Stopka has made a run across field. Now he is in space, wants the ball played to him short. And he loses possession, Stopka. Antonis picks it up. Cato and Halliday. Very casual, very nice from Koji Cato. That pass left a little bit to be desired though, as Simpkin. And Plummer just lets the ball bounce over his foot. Could have an important role, Luke Plummer, the 24-year-old. Coming off a double premiership winning season, as we see Kai Bolton over there on that sideline just getting some treatment, just stretching out. So it was he who made way for Chris Morseray. Deep in stoppage time now, it is all Knights, and it's been an impressive performance from Knights. Right, Peck went down, or was it Mirkovic who went down just off the field? Plays being allowed to continue. Pasquale De Vita's not that happy about it. Opportunity perhaps for Reeves. Another little slip there from Janiel. Again, it doesn't cost Gold Coast Knights as Langdon capitalises and pounces on the heavy touch from Reeves as he soared into the penalty area. Can't imagine there'll be too much more time to add. Antonis, good strength from Antonis. Good perseverance, and he wins a free kick as well for his efforts there. It's good work from Antonis and gets a bit of a tap of appreciation there from Will Peck too, the 19-year-old. Good battle, and they're just having a conversation, or continuing that conversation. Morsaray. City play on quickly through Fraser Hills. Will there be one last salvo from the Brisbane team? No, it's snuffed out by Tyson Martin. Hasn't he been brilliant tonight for Gold Coast Knights? Now Stopka threads the needle through to Stortner. Stortner goes wide. Mitch Nichols at walking pace. Again, the brain will be whirring. Beckwith and Nichols passing it amongst themselves at the moment. Time being taken off the clock. We're into the 4th minute of stoppage time, and again, I'm surprised that there's been that many. Tyson Martin, will he get his goal? Tyson Martin hits the post! Oh my goodness, still there for Stopka. On then over the bar by Stortner. Oh, Tyson Martin's come close a couple of times. Oh, and he wasn't far away at all on that occasion. Back live now. As Kamalpreet Sarai has a long look at his watch and blows the final whistle. It's been an impressive performance for Gold Coast Knights. They pick up their 3rd successive victory, proving once again that they are a team to be feared in this competition this year. Brisbane City, who were hoping to be the same, well, they are now staring at a 3rd straight defeat. And those defeats have been by increasing margins as well. 1-0 first time out, 2-1 last time out, and then 3-1 down on the Gold Coast this evening. As we mentioned, they take on Moreton Bay United next week in what is a big, big Northern derby, or Northern Brisbane derby for Brisbane City. Gold Coast Knights, well, they take on Sunshine Coast Wanderers next Sunday at 4:15 p.m. up on the Sunshine Coast. What will be a thrilling match, I have no doubt. That will be the big test for Scott McDonald. They've passed every test that's been thrown at them so far, and I've no doubt that Scott McDonald will be very pleased about the way that his Knights team have played this evening. They've passed the ball around beautifully, they've defended stoutly, and then when they've been called upon to make those saves, Josh Langdon has made those saves. In particular, that one right at the end of the game, when Arthur Antonis thought he must have scored, the ball just deflecting kindly off Tyson Martin. Not very kindly, but kindly enough for Josh Langdon just to stick his hand out and at full stretch managed to palm the ball away. We'll wrap things up from the Croatian Sports Centre down at Carrara on the Gold Coast. Plenty more football to come. There are 2 matches just about to kick off in the National Premier League's Queensland, if that's your poison. Peninsula Power taking on Eastern Suburbs at AJ Kelly Park. Talk about important games. That is an important game for the defending premiers. Moreton Bay United taking on Olympic at Water Park. That game kicks off at the same time, 6:30, and then you've got half an hour wait if you are hoping to see Lions take on Sunshine Coast Wanderers, and you've got to wait about 24 hours, 23 hours in fact, to watch Capella Bar taking on the Raw Youth. 5 p.m. on Sunday at Max Haynes Field. Plenty of Australia Cup action to come midweek. Check out your local club for all the information about that. And make sure you head down or indeed watch on FQTV. I've been Simon Smale. This has been a Double Take production for Football Queensland. We hope you have enjoyed the contest. A match in which Gold Coast Knights underlined their status as one of the teams to beat in this competition, winning their 3rd straight game, downing Brisbane City by 3-1. I've been Simon Smale. Good evening.